Don't say that before I drink something brown, dog. I know you didn't, but you can't do that. That's chocolatey, actually.
That's our chocolate electrolytes just by themselves in water.
That's what's crazy.
It makes it taste like fucking chocolate milk.
Yeah. How many chocolate electrolytes?
Just one.
It actually tastes like protein. I thought this was protein. Dude, that's solid. Oh.
It's really good. Especially with the added
Just
stuff.
water.
Just water. And you too can have this if you go to withinyoubrand.com.
Actually, dude, that congratulations, man. Y'all congratulations, man. Like that.
Our Within You brand electrolytes.
There's more of that powerlifting propaganda.
Got to make that money. Got to pay mama.
How is that if you warm it up a little bit? Does it explode or anything? Or
No.
can you warm it up?
No, it's
after
great.
Throw that in coffee.
Or just make it a hot cocoa.
Dude.
With some heavy whipping
Have you
cream.
guys started selling that?
Yeah, yes.
I haven't had that. Wait.
Oh, we haven't given you the chocolate one? Maybe you
No.
had.
We've had the salted caramel.
Oh,
caramel.
We'll get you some chocolate.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, man.
It is good.
Congratulations. Seriously,
Thank
that's
you.
really fucking good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Wow.
Yeah, we did a good job on that one. Yeah, my brother was like, you got to try it in water. My brother kept telling me. He's like, hey, you got to try it in water.
He's like, it tastes like Yoo-hoo.
Yeah. It's like, get away from me. Chasing me down, trying to make me drink that chocolate water. But he's fucking right. It's delicious.
I know what, fuck it. We're going to get it right into this podcast then. Because what we're going to talk to you guys about wasn't just this. It's actually, you know what? That's really good. But we want to talk about why you guys aren't having sex.
Oh, what?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. There are a lot of things that are probably going to hit our minds about like what can fuck up a guy's sex life. Because there are certain guys in relationships you're like, you don't have sex anymore. And then certain young guys just can't get laid.
I saw a post by Jason Poston recently where he was talking about, he's like, I'm married, so I only have sex like once a month. And I was like,
Whoa.
what?
But doesn't he have like 20 kids?
He might have a wife, yeah.
Does he like pop out
you know
kids
what?
all the time?
A marriage is a really long thing, right? A long time. So
True.
There are situations where different things happen. And so, but that's never been the case for me.
Yeah. Hey. Okay.
Yeah, we've never been that inactive. Come on.
No. But that's a really cool thing because one thing that a lot of people, and you'll see complaints about this on the internet, is when guys get married for a while, it's like, oh yeah, sex just kind of went down the drain. That's what happens when you get married. I'm not married, but I hear that a lot. So it is kind of refreshing hearing you, a man who's been married for how many years?
I don't even know. 20 something.
You be fucking.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we got married in 2000, so 23 years.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
All right.
That's really easy to track then.
Yeah.
Good job.
All right. Let me ask you this then. What do you think is one of the first things, like what's a big thing that maybe you see a lot of other people who are married or lacking, or maybe they're not paying attention to, that has kept the spice in your sex life?
I think you got to be attractive. Don't be gross. I don't mean attractive like your looks or whatever, but that's important to keep that shit in check. Like whatever the significant other signed up for, you should be some sort of representation of that continuously.
Men and women.
Yeah.
Both of y'all take notes.
I don't think anyone's expecting you to look exactly the same as you did 30 years ago, but there's got to be something reasonable.
Yeah.
Right? There's got to be, maybe when you were 19, maybe you played sports and stuff and maybe you looked a certain way, but now when you're 49 or whatever, you don't have to be 100 pounds overweight. Maybe you did put on like 20 pounds, but that's reasonable. That sounds fine. And that actually should be kind of attractive too, I think. I think people aging, we have got weird interpretations of people aging, like with lines and stuff like that and not having lines and Botox and all these things. I mean, on my wife, I think, not that she has any of that, but I think all that is fucking good. Like, I think all of that is sexy. You like that safe.
But the interesting thing is, like, we have this weird thing where people are like, oh yeah, looks fade. And even though, like, maybe get a little bit wrinkly here, like, whatever, if you take care of yourself, I have seen some hot looking older people, like just like women in their 50s and 60s are all just like, there's hope. Like it's just about taking care of yourself.
And when you find out how old they are, it's like hotter.
Yeah. Hey,
You're like, damn, score. That's amazing.
I told you how I used to like Nina Hartley. when I was an avid porn watcher, I'm not gonna lie.
When you were an addict.
When I was a porn addict.
Really old though.
Hey, okay, wait.
Hold on,
All right, I don't know if I can save this, but in some of the Nina Hartley stuff I used to watch, I think she might have been in her 50s or 60s, but she was still thick and she stayed in shape. She was one of those ones that stayed in shape. And I'm not advocating for porn, but I'm just saying you can be hot and older.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I think, a big thing in relationships is
don't pull up a bad picture, you motherfucker.
It's a very good picture, but it shows the era that she comes from.
Hey, Nina. All right, let me okay, real quick. I feel like I need to
I got way too many things to say here.
I need to justify this. When you are a young 11-year-old and LimeWire's on your shit and you're getting all these fucking videos, sometimes you run across shit and you're like, ooh, I like that. And for some reason,
She did it.
Nina... hey, if you pull up better pictures, man, like you got to pull up better pictures because this hair right here, this ain't doing it, man. All right, this isn't it. Like, there's way better stuff in Nina Hartley. She was jacked. Mark, you were about to say.
I can't say half the things I want to say, but
I'm so fucked.
yeah, we're screwed.
I'm gonna get so roasted.
You'll
It's
be all
all
right.
good.
Oh,
But
that's a small
You're
one.
gonna be okay.
I'm good. It goes the same for guys though. Like, like obviously, if you're with someone, you want them to take care of themselves. But as a guy, if you're in the relationship, you need to take care of yourself. You can't. I've seen so many dudes who, like, get in a relationship, you get a bit too comfortable, you kind of let yourself go. And if for some reason within your marriage, let's say you're married, right? Things go down the drain. If you haven't been taking care of yourself and taking care of the way you look, like your lady was with you because she was attracted to an aspect of you. And taking care of yourself doesn't just mean like taking care of your health and being in shape will make it easier for you, for the person you with to be attracted to you.
You know what's really unattractive?
What?
Anger.
Oh, dude.
Somebody being really, really, like every once in a while, like you got to let your partner have their space, and maybe they're actually mad at you, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But like somebody being like really, really mad, and it's like getting to a point where it's like unreasonable, that is a very unattractive thing. And I think these are all things that we all can work on. We can all get better at.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone has stuff that makes them mad from time to time, throws them off from time to time. But if you take the TV remote and fucking smash it on the ground and curse and say, motherfucker this, motherfucker that, you're mad because the dishwasher's not working or whatever, and you flip out and you get all pissed about it, and then you spill your protein shake and you're
It's the worst.
just in a shitty mood or whatever, like that. Those are very unattractive things, and I think they're all things that we easily have control over.
Yeah, that's actually one of the reasons why I got divorced. She was always angry at something, and I'm like, Jesus, like, what happened? You used to smile like back in the day. Now that's all gone. And then for myself, I am working on that because, like, something will happen with the dogs, and it's just like it'll really upset me, and I'm like, God dang, now I got to do this when I want to go do that. But something that Mark had said in the past that I tell myself every time I'm starting to get upset at something, I ask, how mad are you going to be? Like, how mad are you going to get over this? And then I think about it and I'm like, all right, in my head, let's say I get really, really mad and I throw a chair through the window. That's one, it's embarrassing, but two, it's like, really, dude? Like, that's how mad you're going to get?
Right.
Like, no, obviously I'm never going to do that. But, in my head, I'll play out the scenario where it's like, that's embarrassing. And then I'll think like, well, what you're doing right now is really embarrassing as well. Get your shit together. Okay. And then I'm like, all right, I'm not that mad at whatever the thing that is that happened. Because I will find myself like, I'm still grumpy over the thing that happened, an hour ago or whatever. It's like, it's not worth it.
How long has Dana White been married though?
Oh,
I think he's been married for a few decades.
Too soon. No.
Man, that shit was wild, man.
Yeah.
And then his like little interview with TMZ was,
I don't mean to make light of it, but
yeah.
dog, that's bad.
Yeah. How mad are you going to get, Dana?
Right. That's too much. Way too much.
Yep.
I think things that you can do that are kind of within your reach to keep your sex life going. You'll hear people mention all kinds of things like I don't know, maybe you Just if you just think about your other person,
Mm-hmm.
like if you literally just think about them and you think about something that they would really like, you think about something that they would really appreciate. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you never wrote them a letter before. You fucking write them a letter. Maybe you write them a poem. You know, maybe you stop off at the store and go old school and buy some flowers. There's a lot of things that you can do that are just little things. I don't really do it much anymore, but I should probably do it again. I used to just like draw my wife like a little smiley face and just I would write "I love you" every once in a while, just on like a notepad.
Yo.
We don't have a pen in my house for some reason. I can't find a fucking pen.
And then when
I
you
should
do
find
it,
a
that
pen.
shit does not work. It's
never-
always dry.
It never works. We used to have a pen and paper around all the time. I don't know anymore. But anyway, I should figure that out because those are like, you know, little cutesy things that you can do with each other.
Power Project family, how's it going? Now, we like to look good in the gym and out of the gym. That's why you always see Mark and I and Andrew is stepping up on the short game, wearing shorts from Viore and clothes from Viore. And honestly, the number one compliment that I've seen, that I've gotten, and even Mark's gotten, is, damn, your butt looks good. And that's because, well, the clothes we wear make our booties look delicious. Andrew, how can they get it?
Yeah, you guys both have pretty big wagons. You guys can head over to viore.com/power project. That's VUORI.com/power project to receive 20% off the most amazing apparel that looks so good inside and outside of the
It's going to
gym.
make your ass look fat.
And your
people
ass
like
will
that.
look fat. Links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes. God damn it.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Make your ass look fat. You know, something that my girl likes a lot that I need to also try to do more? She likes, if ever she's like, get me a gift. I'm like, what do you want? She's like, just write me a card. Cause like she
You want
likes
the effort and the time, yeah.
She just likes cards that let her know how I feel about her. When I write her a card, she's like, "Oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Take me." It's like, so what I'm saying there is just like, you, at this point, if you've been with someone for a while, or if you're new to being with someone, like, you kind of know some of the things that they like. So one thing that tends to happen, and I've been in 2 4-year relationships, and this current relationship I've been in for 1.5 years. But what tends to happen is when you're with someone for a long time, you get kind of comfortable, and it's good to be comfortable with the person you're with. That's not a bad thing, but you don't want to get so comfortable that you stop doing some of the things you were doing when things were newer. When you were trying to woo them and get them to like you, like, don't just turn all that shit off. I need to get better at that too, but that'll help that person know that you do care, and it'll, you know, get the waters flowing for you again.
Yeah.
Wait, what waters?
All of them.
All of the liquids.
Yeah, but
Wow.
along the lines of like what you're saying, like when you're early on, right? Like you're super excited to be around her, and what do you more than likely going to grab and or spank her ass. Like if my wife's ass isn't anywhere around me, it's getting spanked every time, and it always gets a really cool response. And so like I've never stopped doing that.
Yeah.
Just a ton of sexual harassment.
All the time. Yeah. I know. I'm like, I got to hire you so that way I could sexually harass you. But like that sort of stuff.
Yeah, in the kitchen and stuff, walking past each other, just always touching each other. Right?
Yeah,
poking
always.
at each other, sticking your thumb up her ass a little bit here
Just
and
to
there.
check the
Keep
temperature.
You know the cool thing about
It's like playful though, right? It's like this is you having fun.
Yeah.
you know, but you every single year, Andrew, as we've been doing this podcast, you've gotten bigger, you've gotten stronger, you've gotten more attractive. And that's got to be kind of cool for Stephanie, because she was with you like when you came, she was with you when you weren't focusing on all that. And now you're fucking like Zaddy Drew. And she's like, ooh, my man's getting even more attractive the older we get. Like, that's a cool fucking thing.
Yeah. Yeah. She was with me before, well, she knew me before I was even into fitness at all. And she was the reason why I got into it. But she was with me when I was, 6 feet tall, 160 pounds. So, and, we talk about skinny fat. Oh, skinny fat. But, The cool thing is, like, as I've gotten in better shape, she definitely has gotten in better shape. And the one thing that other couples fail at is like supporting each other, because usually one will start to get in shape and the other one's like not bought in, and then they kind of get a little bit like they feel resentment towards their mate because they're like, well, fuck, why are you getting in such good shape? So not supporting your other half is like really, really bad.
Yeah, they want to like sabotage each other a little bit, right?
Yeah, instead of like, hey, let me get sexy for you as well. Since you're doing it, let's do it together. To do it together.
I think it's important that you, another thing that could kind of derail your sex life if you're someone that's married or you have kids, is just not making enough time for each other, not getting enough time together. There's like sometimes you'll have time together, but it's like kind of interrupted time, or it's time where you have to like do work together, like dishes or take out the garbage, or I don't know, like just like chores. You need to like, you don't necessarily need to go out to eat or anything like that, but you need to like spend some time together. My wife and I will occasionally just have wine and we'll just sit at the table and just like talk, sometimes when the weather's nicer, we'll just go outside and we'll kind of hang out there. And it's just her and I. We don't have our phones. Our kids are home, but our kids are older, so they don't care. They're not like, they're not crying or screaming or anything crazy like that. So, but yeah, just finding good time to each other. And again, if you're trying to, spice it up a little bit, maybe you stop off somewhere on your way home from work and you pick up a good meal for both of you. You call ahead, you call your favorite restaurant, and you pick up 2 of whatever the hell it is that you guys both like. And on your way home, you say, "Yeah, I'm bringing home, dinner. We're gonna have a date. Get ready." And then maybe you can dress up for that. Even it doesn't matter that you're home. Maybe you can put something nice on, and take a shower so you don't smell like shit.
We'll get to that, but that's something that we are actively working on. My son's gonna be 2 this month. Holy shit! Just realized that. So the toddler running around, there's not a lot of us time at all. But we actually mapped out 2023, some of the goals that we have set, and on there is date
to
night.
Get rid of your son.
At least two nights a month, right now, because we're gonna figure it out to get rid of our son for 2 nights a month, at least just for a little bit, just for ourselves, because we recognize like, hey, yeah, we haven't been spending time with each other, and we both feel that, not that it feels like there's a disconnect or anything like that between us, but we feel there's maybe a disconnect in that like romantic setting. Like we haven't had that in a very long time.
Yeah.
And so like that's something that we're going to work on this year.
The cool thing about what both of you guys are saying is like both you guys with your ladies, you guys are functioning as a team. Sometimes you'll see like whether it's just the woman who's really trying to work on this and the guy's not caring, or just the guy who's really trying to work on it and the woman's not caring. Like what's making this work and what reason why it has worked for you guys is because you guys look at your partnership as a partnership. Both of you and Andy and you and Stephanie are both getting better together. It's not one person on this trajectory and the other person is staying right here. So that's just a key concept that I'm like, I learned from you guys with a lot of this stuff, because I'm in my relationship and I love this girl. So hopefully everything goes the way it should go. But these are very important things that both of you guys are saying.
I think another thing too is to make sure that you're really compatible with the person that you're with. So, if you love to have sex every day and you feel like you literally need that every day, and the other person doesn't care about it that much, they're like maybe like more like a once a week kind of thing, that might not work great. Like these are all things that you got to kind of like work through and think about, like, because that matters a lot. And I've heard more people talk about it more recently, like. There's people that are kind of sensitive to the fact that like it really matters for men. Like we're hardwired this way. This is what we're working with. We have testosterone levels that are high, and it just kind of controls the ship a little bit. Not that we're not in control of our actions, but we want to fuck, pretty often, or at least a lot of men do, right? And so. And there's probably a lot of women. So anyway, the main point there is just to make sure that you kind of line up at least a little bit with sex.
And one thing that I think would be pretty interesting though, along with that, is as a guy, sex is like always on our minds. Like, sex is always on our minds. But if you're not a guy who's active, like, and you're not a person who's utilizing energy, like sex in itself is an energetic act. Like it takes energy. But if you're not doing shit, like if you're not going out working out, like you do jujitsu, you run, we all lift, we still have a good sex drive. But there are some guys who, let's say you're not doing anything and you're like, I want sex all the time. Duh, go fucking work out. Go use your body a bit. And you'll understand, like, yeah, you still want to have sex, but it's not something that is like your primary mode of being and you're not getting it every single day. So now you're angry. There are some people who are like that, but I mean, use your body more because then it might even out that libido of yours. Or that what you think is your libido might just be you not using your body as much as you should be.
I agree.
Yeah, and it could be
energy.
Yeah, and then if you have the opposite of like a low libido, like if the urges aren't there within the couple, it could be because you're just not as healthy as you should be. Because a pretty good marker of health, in my opinion, is like, yeah, your libido should be a little bit higher, and well, not higher. It should be high enough to where you do want to have sex with your mate. And if it's not, then maybe you might just be a little bit unhealthy. You know what I mean? Like there's something a little bit off to where your body's like, hey, you got to address this before we even start getting horny over here. Like, you know what I mean?
Sleep, we talk about that all the time, but we're not going to get deep into that now. But
we got tons of podcasts on sleep, so just search sleep on the channel.
Yeah.
I think, I think a big thing is to figure out ways to stay attractive to your significant other. So, keeping yourself physically fit is obviously a big part of it. Having like an even mind and being able to withstand some of the stressors of life and being able to be someone who's strong, not just for yourself, but strong for your partner. You're somebody that you can that they can relate to, they can communicate with, and you're not getting like all depressed and anxious and shit when someone gives you news. These are all things that I think are kind of side things from like actual sex, but I think that if you're slouchy and like when you hear bad news or you get news that you interpret as bad, that can just lead them to maybe not be as attracted to you as maybe they once were.
One thing to like maybe do a little bit of a deep dive on is just the idea of a bit of Stoic philosophy. Now, I hate to be that guy, but like it's not about not feeling anything or whatever, because we will feel everything, but it's also just purely not reacting to everything in a volatile way. You brought up anger, right? There are many things that I've talked about with my girl or even exes that have maybe brought up a bit of anger, but I'm not someone who acts on anger. I can feel it there, but then a conversation can happen because it's no use of, showing how angry you are. That doesn't show strength. That actually shows quite a bit of weakness in most situations, being outwardly angry. So, I mean, who's that author who you love?
Which one? There's a couple.
The
one that was just here?
No. He wrote the book, The Daily Stoic. Ryan Holiday.
He was on a podcast.
Ryan Holiday.
On our podcast, I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So he has multiple books on understanding that. But if you're a guy, it's not attractive to be emotionally volatile.
Yeah.
And it's not safe, as we've learned from Dana White and other people. It's not a good idea to be emotionally volatile and not have control over your emotions. The thing is, you can feel all those emotions. It's healthy to understand those emotions, because there are some people on the internet who are like, men cannot show emotion and all that shit. That's bullshit. It's okay to feel those things, but you do not always need to act based off of how you feel. I think that's one of the differences between most men and some women, is that when it comes to our emotions, we can feel them and we can maybe express them, but we need to be careful with how we express them. We can't yell and scream and that's not the way we need to be operating. And that is more attractive to a woman than being the emotionally volatile man that maybe gets way too sad or way too anxious or way too angry. Got to learn how to control that shit.
Yeah. Since we were talking about becoming more attractive to our partner, kind of along those lines, but it definitely fits, is people are on their phones a lot. They're on their phones too much. And on pretty much every app you can find some version of like softcore porn, basically. So guarding your inputs on what you are seeing, because right, like if we open up Instagram, especially like the explore page or something, we're gonna see
ass
a lot and a lot of modified, we got the AI shit now. Stuff's going to be photoshopped, but what you're seeing is, I'm not going to say it's not real, because I mean, they are actual people, but then there's that. And then there is porn. There's a lot of things that are going to, and Nsima, you can talk more about this, but they're going to mess with what we assume is actually attractive even, and so that way, if you're living there where you're seeing, I don't want to use a rating system, but let's just say 10s every time you swipe, and then you see a real person that you did fall in love with, but now you're all of a sudden being like, oh, well, there's these 10s over here, and now you might not find your mate as attractive on something that's not even real.
Yeah.
So guarding your inputs and cleaning up your feed can definitely help you out, because if not, it's going to fuck everything up. Because especially if it's porn, right? If you're watching a lot of porn and you're jerking off to that, now you're not going to really be as like ambitious about having sex.
The phone is a huge factor, a lot of times you just sit down and you go to even try to watch something as a couple, and then one of you starts like scrolling through your phone. It's really easy, and just it's just kind of a dumb thing. Like, you're already sitting in front of a screen, but if you're agreeing to try to sit there and watch a movie with somebody, the easiest thing is just to kind of put your phone away, like put it out of reach, hopefully you're not going to get up and like still want to get on it. But there's little things like that. I think they add up a lot where, or even if the person goes to talk to you and you're just like on your, you're like trying to communicate with you, but every time they kind of turn around, you're always on your phone. So whatever way you got to figure out how to negotiate that. Even though I do use my phone quite a bit, I try to use it when I'm really not around my wife.
Yeah, no, I agree with you guys on the phone thing. And Andrew, dude, the porn and the feed thing, I think it's a silent. It's like a silent influencer. It's a silent influencer on the mind of men, especially. I can speak for myself and a few homies that we've had this conversation with, because we're millennials. But as a millennial, when you are used to, first off, watching a lot of porn, beating your shit to a lot of different women, right? There's this thing within this whole red pill community where they believe that men are wired to have more than one mate, and it's not natural for men to be monogamous. I can understand the idea that it may not be natural, because if I'm being perfectly honest, there is an innate want to fuck somebody else. That doesn't necessarily mean that I need to act on that want, or that want cannot be satiated by my partner. So within these red pill spheres, guys are like, oh yeah, it does make sense for a guy to be with a woman that wants a guy that's going to be with one woman is dreaming, is delusional, right? But no, I think what's partially happening is young men are too used to novelty that comes from avid porn use, because you're beating your meat to all these different women. So when you try to be in a monogamous relationship, you get bored quickly because your novelty isn't satiated. And now you're like, you can't be with one woman. Monogamy isn't for everyone. I'm not saying that everyone needs to subscribe to monogamy, but I do think there are a lot of things that are fucking up a man's ability to be monogamous outside of the genetic need to fuck a different woman, which I think is honestly overstated within that community, and just comes down to a lack of sexual self-control upon the man.
Do the people that subscribe to the red pill stuff, what do they talk about with as far as kids? Do they talk about having a lot of kids or no?
So when it comes to the red pill, when it comes to having kids, the big thing about the red pill is they think that like marriage is kind of a scam. And it's a scam in the way that the government gets involved, because in some ways, there are a lot of ways men can be fucked when it comes to a bad marriage. If they have kids and she just decides to leave out of the blue, kind of fucked as a guy. So there's a lot of really good education there. But when it does come to having kids, they do believe that if a high value man, which is a man that is, he makes good money, but he's also wanted by many women, if he does choose to have kids with one woman, well, they can have that family. But he also should be able to have different partners that he could just fuck, because just because you're fucking somebody doesn't mean you love them. You've had children and a life with this woman. You love her, but she should be okay with you fucking outside. Because men don't put, in their eyes, men do not put emotion into sex. women put emotion into sex, which is why, again, in their eyes, it is not okay for a woman to fuck a guy outside because she doesn't actually want to do that. She only does that when she's in love with somebody else. She can't separate emotion from sex. And for the red pill, men can separate emotion from sex, so they should be able to exercise their sexual options even within a relationship with a woman with children. That's how they look at it. In my eyes, I just think that's a lack of self-control.
I mean, it's on the surface, it sounds very, very good for a man that wants to just fuck but also still have a family and like. And it sounds like a headache, but
doesn't it?
That sounds terrible.
I think it's a cope, but yeah.
Oof. Okay. Well, so
that was an aside. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. No. So I guess moving on, something else. It's kind of fucked up, but like, if this will definitely kill sex 100%, is if you're just not good at it. If you finally do get in the bedroom and you're busting quick or you're not paying attention to her needs, she's not busting at all, like you're probably not going to get invited back to the party. You know what I mean? What are you shooting me?
Because you're hitting the nail on the head, brother.
He's giving you points like on PTI.
Got it. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Yeah. It's guys like build up a lot of anxiety for that thing, and then finally when it happens, you blow it. Thankfully, our homegirl Susan Bratton is here to help. We had an amazing episode with sexpert Susan Bratton.
Yeah.
She talks about a thrust in time technique that I use that works incredible, and that's just like how to last. Like basically, you can last forever in bed. But yeah, dude, I mean, doing a little bit of research, and I'm not talking about like porn. I'm talking like actually seeking out a sexpert like Susan Bratton on how to like actually make a woman come. Like that shit's very, very important, because if you want to get more of that, be good at it.
Keep them coming back.
Literally.
Here's one thing. Here's a secret.
Uh-oh.
You see what I'm using to speak into the mic?
Your mouth?
Use it more.
Yeah.
Use it more.
Like it juicy.
Ooh, yeah.
Use this. Use this more, dog. This is what.
Yeah.
This is why I have a great sex life. This right here.
Yep.
This. Use your mouth more. Fucking eat. Right? Not like DJ Khaled, I don't eat box, eat other things. You don't eat box, bro.
It's a box of pizza.
Susan talks to us about that too. Like, hey, it makes a big difference because your mouth can do way more things than your dick can.
Yeah.
Your dick isn't the only weapon you have. You got a mouth.
Yeah, you got to let them catch up to you. Yeah.
I think it's it's important to like be able to take some cues and to sometimes things you're doing like aren't working great. I don't know, like you're just off, like you're not it, but you can take those hints and you can kind of like feel around, right? And you can start to get better and you can learn. You can also communicate a lot.
Yes.
You can communicate during, but it'd probably be best to communicate just randomly, like at some other time, and talk about what you like or didn't like from last night or from a couple days ago or whatever. Yeah. But you can get into talks about all this stuff, and it's not easy. Like if you've been married for a long time, it's not easy to say, hey, I don't really like that. Or, it kind of sucks, you know, in some ways, but it's going to lead to a way better result.
All right. So this is going to be TMI about my sex life, but this has been something that has been said that I'm like, interesting. So you mentioned the communication thing. That is clutch. Because if women
don't let it hurt you. Don't let it hurt you if they don't like the way you're kissing them or whatever the fuck. Don't let it really. It's not meant to hurt you. It's just to help you get better.
Yeah, down there's a bunch of buttons, and they know the buttons that need to be pressed. So like literally, like one of the
a lot
first
of shit going on down there.
One of the first, like probably the first time that me and my girl hooked up at the time because we weren't in a relationship. Just that I was eating. I was just like, "How's that for you?" She was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "How is this right now?" She was like, "Well, I mean, if you did this," I was like, "Gotcha." And then I went, and then she's like, "Oh," but I've done that with other people before, where I'm just like, "How's that for you?" Because like they know, like if something's not working, I'm not gonna be like, "I know it all," because I fucking don't. You
How
know
am
your
I
body.
doing? Not bad. Wait, I don't want to be doing not bad.
Right? Help me be excellent.
Yeah.
Help me. Nigga. You remember that Kevin Hart skit?
No,
You don't?
I don't. Not at this moment. Maybe if I watched it.
There's this great Kevin Hart skit from one of his old stand-ups where he's like, "Help me." There you go. It's a really good one, but I caught you off guard with that one. But yeah, communicate, Mark. Yeah.
Yeah. Not speaking and telling each other what you like is definitely going to kill your sex game. Yeah.
Yeah, I think people are too stubborn. You got to talk about it, and you, I don't know, you might just need to like do something silly where you might have to say, "Hey, look, let's be really open about this. I have some things. I got some things that I like, and you might find them to be weird. You might have some things that you like, that I may find weird, but let's just talk about it and let's just figure it out." And then someone might be like, "That ain't weird. I'm down for that." And you might be like, "What? I have no
Like
idea."
this whole time.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know what's open to you.
Hey.
Sometimes what happens, I heard this from somebody else, but like there's a lot of like odd, there's a lot of weirdness around when it comes to communicating about sex, whether it's like when you're a kid, it's like looked at as like, ooh, sex, blah, blah, blah. So when you become an adult, you're kind of uncomfortable about talking with the person you're with, but it's perfect. Sex is great. And it's even better if you can just talk openly about it. So if you can build the habit of like talking to your partner openly about that, and it just becomes something that you guys both want to get better at. It's gonna
I hear
better.
a lot of people, they'll be like, I could never talk to my, spouse about that.
Sucks.
And I'm always like, really? Like you can't, that's crazy. You can't can't have an honest conversation with them about it. Like that just sounds really bad to me. That doesn't sound like that there's good communication going on. I know
guys you hear that from?
I hear both ways actually. It's really interesting. Like I think there's so much joking about it and so much awkwardness around it. I think that's why people think they can't talk about stuff.
Yeah.
So they just think like, I can't ever mention that to her. But you should be able to tell your wife or girlfriend that you like blowjobs and that you want more of them. I mean, you should be able to tell them. And the girl should be able to tell you that whatever the fuck it is that they like, they should be able to tell you like, "Hey, I want like 3 or 4 dudes in here at one time, not just you, because you're not." No, I'm just kidding.
It's just not enough.
Just wants to cuck me.
You're just sitting there like,
Wait a second.
You sit on that chair in the corner and you don't look away.
And you just start crying.
Oh, poor guy. But I mean, it does go, the street goes both ways, right? Like I get lingerie for my wife and I'm like, "Hey, I want you in this." I'm like, "But do let me know if there's some shit you want me to wear." Like, I'm down. Like, I'm just letting you know right now. I basically won't say no to almost anything. So like whatever it is, like, yeah, I'm down.
You're like, "I'm a fireman tonight?" Okay.
Fuck it.
I was about to say, what if she asked you to wear a sombrero?
I'm wearing a sombrero then. Yeah. I'll be on
Now
top
we're
like
getting into
swinging
some
that
kinky
shit around.
But Stephanie's also Mexican, so like it
Yeah,
could work.
yeah. It could potentially work.
Yo, if Sam asked me to wear like a fucking do-rag and fuck, I'd be like, "Girl, what kind of weird race bait shit we getting into right now?" Like, get the fuck out of here.
Or a do-rag and a cigarette with some malt liquor.
She's like, "Nsima." She's like, "This is a really weird fantasy, but just stay with me."
Oh, fuck. I think one of the biggest things, though, the easiest things, to like, it's kind of going back to being more attracted to your partner, is like, get some clothes that fit you well. I think this is something I see like within a lot of like with lifters, especially. Sometimes they don't wear the best the clothes that like make them look attractive, right? And I think if you can get some clothing that like makes you look good, you're gonna be more attracted to your partner. Because women think about that a lot. Women think about style a lot. And for men, like, style hasn't always been my biggest thing, but I find clothes that fit good and that fit my frame well. And that helps. That helps me look more attracted to my partner, helps me even feel better about myself. So get clothes that fit you well.
Yeah, you don't want to look like you're slumming it all the time, you know? I know that's a little bit of a pandemic look, people having the pajamas everywhere and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think like if you have the option to just like look a little better, you're not any like for me, it's not a comfort thing. Like I'm not less comfortable by wearing something that's just a little nicer. Some of the stuff that I buy is expensive, so I understand like from an expense standpoint, but there's cheaper, there's like, you know, you can find alternatives or you can just not have as much. I got like closets full of clothes. I got like an issue going on over here. But yeah, you can figure it out.
My top two. Oh,
no, it's just even something as simple as just like understanding like how colors go well with other colors, you know, using a color wheel or whatever. I know that's like, oh my God, you're going to have to do a little bit of work here.
Yeah.
But like a little bit will go a long way.
Yeah. Over time, I started to wear more colors and shit, like this fucking orange beanie.
Yeah.
But it works. But one thing is like, especially when you have more muscle in certain areas, certain clothes don't look the greatest on you. But I found that Viore and Lululemon, even though I know Lulu's a bit expensive and Viore's maybe a little bit too, but those brands, when you're built, you look better. They fit really well. And that's been something that I've put money into making sure that my clothes not just fit well, but they'll last a long time. And both of those brands, even though they're a little bit pricier, they will last you longer than a Target or Walmart brown shirt. I'm just saying. Power Project family, how's it going? Now, I want to talk to you guys about Within You hydration specifically. They have This Is The Way, which is an amazing protein that tastes really good. There's a fasting gum, but the hydration is very interesting because there's no other electrolyte supplement like it out on the market. It has 60 milligrams of magnesium, 320 potassium, 1,000 milligrams of sodium, but it also has 500 milligrams of aminos, essential amino acids, and then 2 milligrams of zinc. 2 amazing flavors, blueberry lemon and a salted caramel. That's you, Andrew.
That is me.
So, guys, you know how important electrolytes are? They help you perform better. You don't get cramps during workouts. And, I mean, with the diets, you need good electrolytes. So, Andrew, how can they check it out?
Yes, that's over at markbellslingshot.com. And at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject10 to save 10% off your entire order. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes.
Compliments, I think, are really important. Not just giving them out randomly, but also, accepting compliments. Like when you are complimented, take a note that what you're being complimented on by your partner. And, if they say, hey, I really like that shirt on you, you look great, fucking wear it out the next time that you go on a date.
Yeah.
Make a little note of that. Be like, okay, check, I'll wear this, when we go out on Friday night or something like that. So, and then also, be complimentary, but try not to just to randomly throw stuff out that's like not really anything, like, hey, you look pretty today, like that. Those are cool. I think that people probably enjoy that, but when you actually notice something, try to actually pay attention. And if you actually notice something, oh wow, I've never seen those earrings before. Those are great. Oh yeah, my mother gave them to me. Thanks. Yeah, they look beautiful in them. And boom, it's done. I think it's that the fact that you're paying attention to your significant other.
And then this is when you mentioned the shirt.
Then you whip
thing,
your dick out.
Then you just whip it out, and it's go time. But one thing when you mentioned this wearing the shirt, it reminded me like one thing I'm not like a big cologne guy or whatever, but one thing I have noticed is that women tend to just be more sensitive towards smell. Some don't care about it as much, but a lot do. So Sam, luckily, she loves smells. So there's a specific cologne that I know I wear certain times where I know I'm going to be around her. And when I was dating around, I'd wear it too. And the first thing that women would notice when I was single and dating was, oh my God, you smell so good. So now it's not like, oh, you like the way I look, but you like the way I smell. Now it's just like 1-2 punch. Smell good. Deodorant hits, but then if you can get some good cologne, might help.
Yeah, some of it's just showing some effort, right?
Yeah.
A little extra effort here and there, I think goes a long way. And I think that there's no one's really fooled by the fact that it's not you that smells that way. Whether it's deodorant or cologne or perfume, like that the girl's wearing perfume. Like, I mean, maybe somewhere in the back of your head, you're like, maybe she just really smells that way. Hey,
can't control that animal brain, man.
That's right.
So it smells good. It smells good.
but it's just showing like it's showing extra effort, you know. And I think it's really hot and really attractive when girls have their like fingernails and toenails match, and then sometimes that shit matches with like their underwear and stuff. I'm just like, my fucking brain explodes.
Yeah, your brain definitely goes there.
A lot of coordination going on there.
Yeah. How about babbing? The babbing, you take the ball sweat, you put it on your ears.
Well, as long as the balls smell good, and to smell good, you got to keep them clean.
Like you got to wash them every once in a while.
You got to wash them.
I was joking just because females out here be vabbing. We talked about that before. VABBING. Go Urban Dictionary it if you want to have some fun.
Just check out the channel. We did a fucking podcast on it.
Podcast about vabbing.
Yeah. But yeah, keeping everything tight downstairs, you know, whether it be, you know, fucking trimming, but like, how are you going to get a BJ if your balls are fucking gross? Like, no, you got to make it very inviting.
Yeah, trim her up down there.
Trim it up.
Yeah, give yourself a little fade. You know what I mean?
Get creative with it.
Yeah, you could cut a heart into your
little
shit.
landing strip.
Yeah, just a little, you know, or an arrow that points right to your dick.
Yeah, good directions.
Yeah,
you don't want the pubes flying everywhere.
No, definitely not.
Guys, if there are things that you think we missed in this one, I want y'all to chime in and let us know, because we gave you a lot of shit. We gave you a good general thing to boost you up, but give us your tips.
Yeah, I would
mushroom
also,
tips.
Yeah, I would also add like not being very assertive for men. You know, like, oh, what do you want to eat? I don't know, whatever you want. It's like, well, what do you want? This? Do you want that? I don't know, whatever you want. Like, I hear a lot of dudes being lazy like that. Instead of like, what do you want to eat? Like, I'm bringing In-N-Out on the way home. Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, what would you like, honey?
Yeah, it's like, no, she's looking at you to make this decision, like to be a man. And I understand, like, you know, there's always the times where it's like asking a chick what she wants, and it's like she doesn't know.
There's a happy medium.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But like also like just being like, no, this is what we're doing. Like, or this is like, you know, chicks, I mean, sorry, I could be wrong here, but I think they definitely like an assertive man that way.
Say I was thinking about going to sushi tonight. Like when they ask you, where do you want to go eat? And then they might be like, nah. Like they might still like not want to go there, but at least you fucking pointed you and whoever else you're with in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly. There's a happy medium to it. Instead of like having things be up in there, what do you want? Like, let's have some options, and then let's pick an option. Because sometimes it's like, we're going to have this, but I don't want that, motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? So like, understand, like, assertiveness is good, but, you know, happy medium. Happy medium, you know? So just be careful with that. Yeah.
But I mean, again, I still think that leaning more towards at least attempting that is better, because there's also like if like whatever she tries on, like, oh, what do you think of this outfit? What if you were to say, oh, I like that one with the red or whatever, and then she'll be like, oh shit, I'm gonna go put that one on then. You know, like absolutely like
maybe that
yourself.
And maybe that will help them feel sexier. Maybe they'll feel better because they're thinking like, oh, well, he likes that.
Yeah.
I love when you wear that dress. It'd be great if you threw that on tonight. They're like, oh shit, okay.
I agree with you. I do agree with you. This is the thing that this thing I'm saying. Have you ever seen the show White Lotus?
Yep.
Yeah, you saw White Lotus? Did you see season 2 with that? Okay, so you remember the young guy who like he started to like the teenage girl. He was the Italian one, and then he was at the table and he's like, we're gonna have this, this, and this. And then she started looking at him weird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm saying here is like, it is better to be, I agree with you, more on the assertive side, because there are many guys who are super passive, who are like, I want what you want.
It just screams lazy to me.
Screams lazy, exactly. But there's also the other side where you are the assertive asshole who doesn't care about what your partner cares about.
I see what you mean.
You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying
that guy's a dickhead. No,
that guy's a dickhead.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like, you got to have awareness, like you're saying, to be like, yeah, you put in what you like, but like be aware of what your partner may also want. Because the reason why you'll suggest In-N-Out is because, you know, Stephanie likes In-N-Out. You're not picking something that your girl doesn't
Very
like,
true.
and you're saying we're gonna have this tonight.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
So,
great point.
Yeah.
I dig it. Oh yeah. Anything else?
I want to know what y'all think.
Yeah.
Comment down below. Let us know. Hit up the Discord.
All that good stuff.
Yeah, I think we're touching upon a bunch of stuff where it's just a lot of it's about self-improvement, right? It's an attractive feature to want to be better. And so whether you're male or female, if I think it's attractive that my wife wakes up every morning and goes swimming. I think that's cool. She's got like drive. It's nice to see that the person has drive. There's going to be ups and downs that everyone's going to go through in life. And if you're married long enough, you'll probably see some of those ups and downs. You'll probably see someone with a job that's very driven. You probably see someone lose a job who's not so driven. And you'll see ups and downs. People they're happier at certain points in their life. They're sadder at certain points of their life. There's death. There's all kinds of things that happen in our lives that we don't have control over all those things, but we do have control over trying to improve ourselves. So it's kind of neat if you're with somebody who in their spare time is like reading a book about how to be better at whatever the hell it is. Yeah. Maybe you're reading a book about how to be better at sex. Maybe you're reading a book about how to be better romantically, or how to be a better husband, or how to be a better father. Like, there's so many things that you can work on and work towards. And I think it's a very attractive feature of someone. So I think that is something else that you could do. Andrew, want to take us on out of here, buddy?
Sure thing. Comment. Let us know what you guys think about today's conversation. And then also, like, hey, maybe send this to somebody that you might want to, spark that flame back up with, just casually. So again, comment, and then make sure you guys hit that like button. Subscribe if you guys are not subscribed already. For everything podcast related, we were just talking about like great fitting shirts. Our Think Less shirt fits extremely well. Our Microdose shirt fits extremely well. We did that shit on purpose because we want you guys to look jacked in those shirts. That's going to be all at powerproject.live. Links down in the description and podcast show notes. Find the podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at MB Power Project. And then my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter is at I am Andrew Z. And Nsima, where are you at?
At Nsima Inyang on Instagram, YouTube, and at Discord, and at Nsima Inyang on TikTok and Twitter, Mark.
Smelly's tip for today is I stole this one from Jordan Peterson. Men, do not make your wife your mother. Strength is never weakness. Weakness is never strength. Catch you guys later.